Warning, this article contains spoilers for WandaVision Episode 7. Monica Rambeau has finally become a superhero, and her comic book history might reveal a little bit more information about her. What happened in Episode 7 of WandaVision? Monica Rambeau, Teyonah Parris, decides to travel back into an alternate reality, called the Hex, to settle things with Wanda. She attempts to use a huge truck to work her way inside. But the truck can't go in. So she decides to walk inside the Hex. In a previous episode, Dr. Darcy Lewis, Kat Dennings, told Monica there would be major consequences to her skin and blood cells if she walked into reality. And alas, we saw the consequences unfold. Monica appeared to have a new visual style where she can see the energy of every object around her. She seemed to glow and appeared to have significant strength. Based on her comic book history, this seems like the first sign that Monica has become the hero Photon. What happened in the comic books? Okay, so Monica Rambeau has a storied history in Marvel Comics. In fact, she took on the identity of Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers did. Brie Larson plays Danvers in the Captain Marvel movies. Monica never received a full series run as Captain Marvel. She bounced around different Avengers issues as the first black superhero for the team. She went through a number of name changes in the comics books, too, taking on the names of Photon, Pulsar and Spectrum, as I wrote about for the Deseret news. According to IO9, Photon continued to serve with the Avengers, appearing as a reserve team member in times of need, but never on a consistent basis. The comics themselves touched upon this when Monica discovered that her mother, out of fear for Monica, had been intercepting calls from the Avengers requesting Monica's assistance. Marvel increasingly had no idea what to do with her, and didn't really care. Later, the character Genis-Vell returned from his own disappearance in the Marvel Comics and asked to use the name Photon. So Monica switched to Pulsar, according to IO9. We've known about this for a while. The hype for Monica has existed since 2019 when Captain Marvel came out. In fact, the first TV spot for Captain Marvel revealed a young girl named Monica, who was the young version of Rambeau, as I wrote for the Deseret news. At the time, there was a lot of discussion about how she would fit into the Marvel Cinematic Univers since she appeared in Captain Marvel, which takes place in the 90s. Fast forward to WandaVision, and she has finally taken on a new identity.